Let me reiterate the First Amendment to the Constitution. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the rights of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Now, in support of that, we were doing the Court of the Church of the Holy Trinity versus the United States in 1892. The court had already established that Sir Walter Riley received commission to exercise Christianity. William Penn in Pennsylvania, his Charter of Privileges, as we were reading, dealt with, and Almighty God being the only Lord of conscience, Father of lights and spirits, author as well as object of all divine knowledge, faith, and worship, who only doth enlighten the minds, persuade and convince the understandings of people, and who hereby grant and declare. They give him this charter. Okay, the Declaration of Independence, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these rights are life, liberty, and property. Happiness. They considered happiness, according to the Federalist Papers, to be the right to own and control property and control property, which we can't do today. Can't do today. And also, if we examine the Constitution of the various states, we find in them a constant recognition of religious obligations. Every constitution of every one of the 44 states, back then it was 44, it's now 50, and they all have it, contains language directly or by clear implication recognizes a profound reverence for religion, an assumption that its influence in all human affairs is essential to the well-being of the community. Constitution of Illinois is 1870. We, the people of the state of Illinois, grateful to acknowledge Almighty God for the civil, political, religious liberty, which He hath so long permitted us to enjoy, and looking to Him for a blessing upon our endeavors to secure and transmit the same unimpaired to succeeding generations. Okay, this is the Constitution of Maryland, 1867. It is the duty of every man to worship God in such a manner as he thinks most acceptable to him. All persons are equally entitled to protection in their religious liberty, wherefore no person ought by any law to be molested in his person or state on account of his religious persuasion or profession, and for his religious practice, unless under the color of religion he shall disturb the good order, peace, safety of the state, shall infringe the laws of morality, or injure others in their natural civil religious rights, nor ought any person to be compelled to frequent, maintain, contribute, unless on contract, to maintain any place of worship or any ministry, nor shall any person otherwise competent be deemed incompetent as a witness of a jury on account of his religious belief. Wow. So by national state constitutions, legislative enactments, judicial pronouncements, organic utterances, it's firmly established that Christianity is the law of the land, which allows other religions to come here. The First Amendment codifies that biblical law, which I just read. Now, pushing forward, we talked about how Stalin and the communists wished to destroy America, and they attacked our religion. They changed the laws. They infiltrate the lawyer profession, the political scientists, the judges, and as such, they change things. Now, as a Latter-day Saint, we have prophets, seers, and revelators. This is what Elder David B. Haight of the Quorum of 12 Apostles has said. The United States Supreme Court has clearly held that criminal prosecution of those who produce and distribute obscene material does not violate their First Amendment rights. That was in 1984. I think it's changed since then. Pornography, obscenity is everywhere. It's changed. Professor Douglas Laycock, one of the nation's premier authorities on religion and law, says for the first time in nearly 300 years, important forces in American society are questioning the free exercise of religion in principle, suggesting that free exercise of religion may be a bad idea or at least a right to be minimized. So says Todd Christofferson, the Quorum of the 12, June 26, 2016. So they're going to minimize, according to the brethren, our religious expression. This country was not established on Christian or Judeo-Christian values. Rather, they were seeking to erase the mark altogether, blotting it out through rules and revisions, seeking to pull down all power and authority which cometh from God, just as the Nephites did. You may have observed, as I have observed, the difficulty of simultaneously arguing that this nation was not founded on Christian values and that after 250 years, this nation is now post-Christian. Wait a minute, if we never were Christian, how are we post-Christian now? Arguments against the doctrine of Christ often lack logic, but they are almost always flattering and enticing. That's Kyle S. McKay of the 70, March 23rd, 2021. There must needs be a Christ. Another member of the 12, religious freedom is the cornerstone of peace in the world with many competing philosophies. Wow. It gives us all space to determine for ourselves what we think and believe, to follow the truth that God speaks to our hearts, while protection from government persecution is, of course, crucial. That is not all that religious freedom means. Excuse me, let's do this again. Religious freedom is the cornerstone of peace in a world with many competing philosophies. And also, robust freedom is not merely what political philosophers have referred to as the negative freedom to be left alone. Rather, it's much richer, positive freedom, the freedom to live one's religion or belief in a legal, political, social environment that is tolerant, respectful, accommodating of diverse beliefs. That freedom is now under fire. Religious freedom lies at the core of what America is and what it stands for. Critics now openly ask whether religion belongs in public life at all. Some say that faithful Americans have no business speaking their beliefs when addressing issues of public concern, even when those issues involve unmistakable moral judgments. Others condemn churches and religious organizations for expressing moral and religious perspectives on matters of public policy, especially when those conflict with secular viewpoints. Some even claim, with no sense of history, that religious people and institutions violate constitutional separation of church and state if they bring their beliefs to the public square. This is once again Todd Christofferson, Religious Freedom, a Cherished Heritage to Defend, June 26, 2016. There's another scourge sweeping the globe, attacks on your and my religious freedom. This growing sentiment seeks to remove religion, faith in God from the public square, schools, community standards, civic discourse. Opponents of religious freedom seek to impose restrictions on expressions of heartfelt convictions. They even criticize and ridicule those faith convictions. What is religious freedom? There's freedom of worship in all its configuration, freedom of assembly, freedom of speech, freedom to act on personal beliefs, freedom for others to do the same. Religious freedom allows each of us to decide for ourselves what we believe, how we live, and act according to our faith. And God expects of us. Religious freedom honors the first and second great commandments, placing God at the center of our lives. Religious freedom fosters expressions of belief, hope, and peace. Religion inspires people to help others. Freedom of religion acts as a unifying, rallying force for shaping values and morality. I invite you to champion the cause of religious freedom. It is an expression of the God-given principle of agency. That's to heal the world. Elder Ronald Rusband, Quorum of the 12, April 2022. Clearly, the prophets of God in all ages have supported and defended the third commandment. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Neither shalt thou diminish the expression of those who do honor his name. The Constitution provides safeguards and protection for this amendment and Christianity. Thank you.